Before I do anything else, I'm going to play this reconstruction first without any subtitles
This is not American English.
or notes. It's about 3 minutes long. It starts with reconstructed English as spoken in about 450 AD or thereabouts, and every few sentences it progresses forward a little bit until eventually we have modern English.
And it's all spoken by the same person, I'm gonna assume? That sounds interesting. Is it legit or is it like AI? Because, damn.
And I'd be very interested to hear in the comments when you start being able to understand things. Ik kem geboren. Ik haldo skepu, swinu, alpeku. Na koi. Ikwaat. Man nicht geboren, if in a coin habje.
People can speak all dialects, yeah, but every few sentences to progress in time with the dialect up until modern times. That sounds like a challenge. Like, even if you can speak all dialects, just, in isolation.
Sindi pelku. Skepu, swinu, rate kikinu. Man nachsaas habjan. A koi sindi pelku. If it's na habje koi. Neze. Skepu bildi nawicht. Geboren. Somewhere halde de reuze, Elias nawicht. Sod liceane rosu. It was civil days a his reuze sturvon. Him were on all tha dagas grim. Ekich reus hebbe. Between tham huse on tham felde. Gliodan
Wait.
Ekich reus hebbe. Between tham huse on tham felde. Gliodan maneros. Neze.
I'm sorry, this is not English, I don't care.
Chicken.
This is to English what Bavarian is to German.
Enorm. Ach, Glioda is raud fool. He mei reusnumman. Ak na ky, na shape, na gat. It is long winter.
Question about American English is, do they start with the language spoken in North America before the colonization? Well, first up, there were many languages spoken. Secondly, what do you mean before colonialization? They didn't speak English there, right? Start understanding it is long winter. Wait, what?
It is long winter.
Oh, true! Oh my god. But the pronunciation is so different, wow.
The ground is cold.
The ground is cold, right? The floor is cold. First Native American the Pilgrim Fathers met did speak English. How? I feel like I'm starting to understand bits and pieces. Why would it be American English, then it would be British English? Because Americans developed their own accent over the past couple of 100 years. And to call simplified English British English is, I think, a little bit of an insult to the real English.
The cat is föds in diese. The ground is cold. The cat is föds in diese. That tree is dead on yerde. The road.
Wait. I feel like I vaguely understand this because it's kind of similar-ish to German, I feel like, and Dutch.
Long winter. The ground is cold. The cat is föds in diese. That tree is dead on yerde.
Something is like dead on the ground, on the dirt. Maybe some kind of plant or something, or maybe some kind of animal.
The rook is forleden ornetoon.
Something with the smoke?
The tree is dead on yerde. The rook is forleden ornetoon.
Something with the smoke, I'm pretty sure.
We hebben brentene woede. We hebben jet wolle. We hebben brentene woede. De rook is forleden ornetoon. We hebben brentene woede. We hebben jet wolle. We hebben een goed huis. We hebben many fields.
We have this, we have this, that, whatever. We have many fields.
It was born in a cité. No Ule kalle dat nicht. En gees waren seen, only fed above. No goat or the sheep or the cow was seen. He would say, shape, chickens, grass, turn the land, here and all in the nicht. Lo I travelled far. I live now
Lloyd traveled far?
on a farm with sheep and goats.
Or sheep and goats? I think now is the point where we are starting to really just understand it as even modern English speakers.
Turn the land, here and all in the nicht. Lo I travelled far. I live now on a farm with sheep and goats in a small house beside a field. The farm brings me great joy.
Yeah. Now we're getting to the point where we can just understand. The farm brings me great joy and so on. Yeah. Okay.
Although it is hard.
Although it is
The
hard.
goats, the chickens.
Around 1600 is Shakespearean English. Yeah, and Shakespeare basically invented modern English, right? So yeah, it makes sense that after this point we can pretty much understand it.
The geese, the hawks flying overhead. Even the mice that get into the farmhouse.
And the King James Bible, okay. But yeah, from here, yeah, I understand everything now, yeah.
The ones that chew at the cloth. They may chew at the cloth if it pleases them. But I can get new clothes. I have all the hot
It's the weirdest version of Cantonese I've ever heard.
coffee I need. Friends I didn't have back in New York. Fresh air. Yeah. And that's why I decided to farm. Because the city's no place for me to live. No place at all. Hello again. My name's Simon. I've been making these videos for a few years now. I'm addressing a wider audience here because these videos always seem to get more views than my normal ones. And I'm very interested in the natural reality of how things were in the past. And in fact, me and some colleagues are nearly finished with the first few episodes of a web series on that subject, which will be released soon.
That does sound interesting.
And shameless self-plug.
I'm always more interested in the common people's lives than in the, sightseeing and whatever when I go to other countries. And of course that also applies to like past times. It is cool to imagine how the pyramids looked back when they were just built, with the golden tip and whatever. But I find the lives of the normal, I guess you could say peasants or whatever, far more interesting, personally.
I also dialect coach on larger indie films sometimes. So if anyone has a project they'd like to discuss, I'll put my professional email address in the description. One of the things I've been interested in recently is how the brain's social machinery for dealing with modern accents can kind of fall apart when we listen to unfamiliar historical accents, whether that be reconstructions like I'm presenting in this video, or old dialect recordings of people speaking in their natural accents. I think that hearing the gradual progression of accents, as in the reconstruction, might make it easier to imagine how accents naturally and organically diversify and branch off from each other, rather than just assuming that they kind of grow out of the soil in whatever place they happen to be spoken. An important disclaimer is that the first few hundred years of this reconstruction are in Old English, and I am a pronunciation specialist, not a grammar specialist. And so whenever I try and compose things in Old English, there are always things like some case ending I've got wrong, or some grammatical mood that I've got wrong, or something. In this case, I've poured through the whole thing and tried to make sure every grammatical case is right, every choice is justified. Wherever there was a sentence construction I wasn't sure about, I checked with the Bosworth-Toller Dictionary online to try and make sure that there was a parallel sentence construction attested in Old English. But it's, completely possible I've made some mistakes in the grammar, which I'd be very open to corrections on. So don't attempt to use this as an Old English learning resource. If you do want an actual Old English learning resource, I'd highly recommend Dr. Colin Gorry's book, which he released fairly recently, and also his YouTube channel while you're at it. I'd also point out that the earliest few of these sound changes happened before there was any substantial writing in Old English, and so we have a good idea of what order they must have happened in, because some of them are interdependent on each other and rely on each other having already happened. But we don't know exactly what years they happened in, or centuries they happened in. So, you know, we can tell what order they happened in, but we can't necessarily staple that order onto an actual timeline. So if there are any specialists in prehistoric Old English in the comments, I'd be very interested to hear where I might have got certain things wrong or where interpretation might differ. You'll have a subtitle in modern English, a subtitle in the stage of English that we're on at any given moment, a transcription in IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, which will be a fairly narrow phonetic transcription of what I'm saying. And then there'll also be some kind of footnotes, and those are directed at people who already know something about historical linguistics and just want to know why I've made certain choices. You'll have to pause to read those because obviously it would take too long to leave them on screen for 5 minutes. And of course, if you're enjoying this video, feel free to subscribe if you'd like to. I do lots of this kind of thing. If you click the bell icon next to the subscribe button, YouTube knows that it should notify you when I upload something new. And thank you very, very much to all of my Patreons, or my patrons on Patreon who financially justify my putting so much time into this kind of thing. I very much appreciate
Thank you so much, Phoebe, and welcome in.
that. So without further ado, here it is again.
Please.
Ikem Rebur.
Oh wow, that's Oh, it's just I'm a farmer, and that's the notes. I was about to say, damn, that's the text. No, that's the notes. Okay, it's just I'm a farmer. Okay, Ikem Rebur. Ikem Yebur. Ikem Yebur.
So without further ado, here it is again. Ikem Rebur.
Ikem Gebur. Interesting. Interesting that where did it deviate into farmer? Because I can see the last word. I can see how that developed into the German Bauer. I can see that there are like similarities, but how did farm? I guess. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like Dutch. Ik ben een boer, yeah. I can see where this is coming from. I'm not sure about where it deviated to become farmer, but I can see where this is coming from.
Ik galdo.
The same thing. This is also like German Dutch-ish. I can see where these are coming from. Probably imported from
Scapo. Suino.
Yeah, Scapo, I wouldn't know. Swino, I could have known. In Russian, it's also Svinya, for example, is pig as well. Yeah, I can see where some of these are coming from. With other ones, I'm not sure. Like, I can see how Scapo, like, probably developed into sheep. But, wait, what was the second one?
Ik galdo.
Haldu into keep is like, huh? You know?
Scapo.
Haldu, maybe Kaldu, keep, I don't know.
Suino. Alpeco.
This too, I wouldn't understand it. Like, how do I keep in Dutch? Yeah, true. This too, I can see where this is coming from in German. I wouldn't be able to understand it, but I can see where it's coming from in German. Livestock, though. Why is it livestock in English? Like...
Nakoi. Nakoi.
Ah, okay, I see. Swino was... I caught Swino first time, though. Okay, interesting.
Iquat. Maniske.
Oh, Iquat is... Okay, yeah, that... Again, that makes sense. Just seeing it like this, I can see it, but I wouldn't have, you know, gotten it just from hearing it.
Maniske buri.
Wait, let's hear that again.
Iquat. Maniske buri finne.
That sounds kind of Dutch, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. And like with knowing the words of farmer and cow, you know, knowing these words, these two words, I could already figure out the rest of the sentence just from context clues. And just in general, because some of them are just similar.
Kois
Text looks Dutch, pronunciation not so much.
Cindy Felku.
Maybe I'm just also used to Flemish. I heard that Flemish sounds quite different from Dutch, especially West Flemish. A lot easier from the written form. Yeah. This one, no idea. This one I wouldn't have been able to figure out.
Skepo Suino Rate Kikino.
Okay.
Marthas Habian. A Koi Cindy Felku. Yifitina Habia Koi.
What did I say? If you don't have, what did I say? Did I say if you don't have cows? What did I say earlier? If you don't have... That is... Cindy is very part of the Latin essay to be... Oh, yeah. Well, also German sein.
Neze. Skepo Bildi Nawicht. Jebor. Somewhere halde de röse, Elias Nawicht. Sod liceane rosu. It was civil day sa his röse sturvon. Him were on all sa dagas grim. Ekich rös hebbe. Between Sam Huse and Sam.
Wait. Ich developed to ich. That's interesting. Yeah, again, with most of these, I would just be repeating the same thing. I can, like, guess a lot of it, but, yeah.
Between Sam Huse and Sam Felde. Glioda no maneros.
I think it's very Nordic.
Neze. Chicken henom. Ach.
Chicken.
Glioda is loud fool. He may.
Oh, it's a red bird. Fool. German is Vogel. It's like.
Fool. He may. Rösnjoman. Na ky, na shape, na gat. It is long winter.
Ah, there we go. It's long winter. Okay, now we're.
The ground is cold.
The ground is cold.
The cat is föds in diese.
Oh! Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this sounds like Flemish to me. Likely relates to Flug in German. Maybe, yeah.
That trö is dead on jerde. The rook is forleden ur netun.
The rooks, not the smoke. Okay, I see.
We hebben a brentene woede.
Makes sense.
We hebben jet wolle. We hebben on god hoes. We hebben many fields.
Yeah, this is where it starts like completely just making sense to me.
Born in a cité. No wolle kalle dat nicht. In ges were insane, only fed above.
Yeah.
No god or the shape or the coup was saying. He would say, shape, chickens, glass, turn the land.
Sound like rook smoke and Dutch. Yeah, and that's where I thought this came from. Yeah.
Here and all in the nicht. Lo I travelled far. I live now on a farm with sheep and goats.
Yeah, now it's
small
just
house
easy.
beside a field. The farm brings me great joy, although it is hard. The goats, the chickens, the geese, the hawks.
Well, it looks like it became Forsaken later
overhead.
English. That also makes sense to
Even
me.
the mice that get into
Well,
the
not how it
farmhouse,
developed into
the ones that
Forsaken,
chew at
like
the cloth.
just based on the
They
words,
may
but
chew at the cloth if it pleases them.
the translation
can
makes sense to me.
Get new clothes. I have all the hot coffee I need. Friends I didn't have back in New York. Fresh air. Yeah. And that's why I decided to farm. Because the city's no place for me to live. No place at all.
Interesting. Very interesting. Notice the point where you stopped giving the translation? Yeah. That's also when I started talking over him because it was just obvious what he was saying. You know, that's not something I normally like to do, but it was just pointless. Yeah, this is very interesting, yeah.